assumed that mantle once more. The Orcus steadied against the push of the current as the additional oars took the strain, keeping her on station. The galley was lying 30 yards off the shoreline of the Isola Marrone, a spit of rock no more than 200 yards long, and in places no taller than a man. From his vantage point, Atticus had an uninterrupted view of the island of Porbantia, some 4 miles away, while the Orcus remained invisible to all but the closest of scrutiny. "Well, where are these pirates of yours?" Septimus asked over his shoulder. The question triggered a memory for Atticus that instantly transported him back through the years to when his friend had last asked it. On that day he had been the young captain of a trireme, the Aquila, lying in wait for pirates who had savaged the coastal shipping near his home city of Locri on the southern coast of Italy. It was also the day that he had clashed with the Carthaginian fleet for the first time, a desperate fight that presaged a war that consumed Rome for years afterwards, as it raged from Sicily to the gates of Carthage. The conflict had ended 9 months before in a pitched naval battle in the very waters surrounding the Orcus, and Atticus searched for some sign of the violence and significance of that day. He shuddered with the passing shadow of its memory, and that of his comrades lost. "They'll come," he muttered, with an edge made hard from a sailor's deep hatred of pirates. Septimus grunted in response as he began pacing the deck again. Despite years of command as a marine centurion, the tactics of a single galley operating alone still filled him with disquiet. As a soldier born of the legions, he had an unshakable faith in the strength of numbers, of solid flanks, and the bulwark of the man standing beside you in the line. When Atticus' small fleet of 12 quinquiremes had arrived in the Sicilian port of Drepana 4 days ago, the city elders had immediately rushed to the dockside to beg for protection from a pirate galley that had recently arrived to harry trading vessels in the waters around the Aegates Islands. Septimus' instinct was to form the fleet into a hardened spear formation and strike forward to seek out the enemy, but Atticus had dispatched his galleys into a net to search for the foe, and so now the Orcus hunted alone. "Sail on the horizon, rounding the southern point of Porbantia." The men of the Orcus paused at the call from the masthead lookout. The boat was lateen-rigged. The prevailing westerly filled the sail, and she was hull down on a broad reach to the coastline of Sicily. Atticus felt Septimus come up to stand at his shoulder. Neither spoke as Atticus tried to discern the nature of the approaching vessel. He leaned forward on the balls of his feet, straining to see. "What line of vessel?" he shouted up to the masthead. There was no immediate response. Atticus bit down on his impatience, knowing that the young lookout, Aulus, was adhering to Atticus' own training, and not calling it until he was sure. "Trading coaster," he called. 50-footer under oars and sail." "Blast it!" Atticus spat under his breath. "Drusus," Septimus called. The centurion came forward. "Have the men break ranks for food, but keep them on deck." Drusus slammed his fist to his chest and called the orders to his optio. "We'll need to find port before sundown to re-victual," Septimus remarked. Atticus nodded in agreement. They had been at sea for 4 days, an extended time, and with limited storage space on board, they were running out of potable water. "There is a small port on Porbantia that we can use. We'll wait until the trader closes, and then signal for them to heave to. Maybe they can tell us more. You think the pirates are still out there? This is normally a busy shipping lane, and the trader is only the second ship we have seen in 4 days. Something is keeping them away." "The Walturnus might have news," Atticus added, almost to himself. He had stationed the Orcus at the midpoint of the net and arranged for one galley, the Walturnus, to sweep the circumference of the fleet once a day for communication. She was due to pass in the forenoon.